How do you feel that the Trump administration literally just illegally jettisoned somebody into a country that they weren't legally allowed to jettison him into for no reason, and now that person's stranded in El Salvador? How did that, like, how does that not make you feel ashamed as an American?
I mean, things do slip through the cracks. It's happened like throughout all of U.S. history, but I will say it's wrong doesn't make it right. I mean, Guantanamo Bay wasn't right, and they
Do you
kind of
want to
kept that
do you want to
for a
tell
very long
Garcia? Do you want to tell Garcia that it was just like an administrative error and like some people just slipped through the cracks? Or how's it going,
Hey, how you doing?
Mr. Snowman? How we going? How you feeling?
I think it's a little early to judge the president, though.
Yeah, is it? Was there like a big reservation on judging Biden on his first 100 days, or?
There was. Like, I didn't really start judging him until about 2 years in.
Okay. So I mean, I'm not gonna like, I kind of just want to cut the shit for like, okay. The Trump administration deported somebody who was found to have credible fear of retaliation if he was deported. They admitted that it was an error, but now that he's in El Salvador, there's no way for them to get it back. So how do you feel that the Trump administration literally just illegally jettisoned somebody into a country that they weren't legally allowed to jettison him into for no reason, and now that person's stranded in El Salvador? How did that, like, how does that not make you feel ashamed as an American?
I mean, things do slip through the cracks. It's happened like throughout all of U.S. history, but I will say it's wrong doesn't make it right. I mean, Guantanamo Bay wasn't right, and they
Do you
kind of
want to
kept that
do you want to
for a
tell
very long
Garcia? Do you want to tell Garcia that it was just like an administrative error and like some people just slipped through the cracks, or?
I mean, can we just like admit that things have happened in the past as well? Like just because
Yes,
of
things
this.
have happened in the past as well.
Yeah.
How does it justify that the government illegally jettisoned somebody to El Salvador that had an explicit order from the judge to not be deported to El Salvador because he faced credible retribution from real gang members, and now they're saying that it's impossible to bring him back and that he is stranded in El Salvador because we deported him too quickly because we didn't want to go through the process to legally deport him?
Well, here's the question: was he a legal U.S. citizen to begin with?
Yes.
Okay, a legal U.S. citizen. Then he shouldn't have been deported.
Or no, sorry. I heard your question wrong. He was an illegal immigrant. However,
Okay.
he was found by an asylum judge to not be allowed to be deported to El Salvador because he faced realistic threat from gang retaliation. Because his parents had gotten wrapped up in some shady shit. There's no evidence that he has gang affiliations. He does not have a criminal record. He has an autistic child. He has 2 other children. He's married, and ICE agents ripped him away. They called his wife. They said, hey, if you don't come pick up your kid, we're giving him to CPS. And then within a month, he was deported. Without going to the judges, with completely disregarding the order from the judge that said that he cannot be deported to El Salvador.
Ultimately, the federal government does have the last.
No, they don't.
on things like this. They
They don't.
do.
There's a law in place that you cannot, an immigration judge cannot find somebody, cannot grant somebody withholding of removal, and then they just remove him anyway. That's illegal.
But that's where the mess of our government really comes in, where things may be legal or illegal, but the government can find ways around it as well.
There's no way around it.
It's a sticky situation.
Can the president just break the law?
Depends. Is it actually a law that he's breaking, or is he just
Yes.
manipulating the law?
8 USC section 112 or 1231. That's the law that he's breaking. It allows an immigration judge to give somebody a withholding of removal, and then they just ignored it. There's a process by which you get rid of that withholding of removal, and they ignored it. They ignored the judge's order, and they deported him within, how long was it? Give me 1 second. He was deported on March 16th, I believe. And he was arrested on March 12th. So how do you justify arresting somebody and then deporting them 3 days later with no intervention from a judge, no opportunity to file for relief. They didn't tell his wife where he was even being held. They transferred him all around the country. He's from, I think he was from Maryland, and his last call to his wife was in Baltimore. Like, how can we not both agree that this is like evil?
Wait, are we talking about the same guy
Garcia.
that was in charge of a pro-Palestinian protest? A pro-Hamas?
Nope, that's Mohammed Khalil. Or Mahmoud Khalil. It's a different guy.
Okay,
This dude just, his big crime was that he was alleged to be a member of MS-13 by ICE with no evidence. He had 2 children, 1 autistic child, and a wife, and he was here illegally, but he was working in steel to support his family. Those were his crimes. He was never convicted of a single thing, and they deported him in 3 days with no due process. And now they're saying that it was an administrative error. We weren't within our legal capacity to deport him, but now that he's gone, we can't do shit. He's just in El Salvador. Even though he had a specific ruling from a judge saying that he would face significant threat if he was deported to El Salvador, we deported him anyway. How is that not evil?
Wait, we're talking about El Salvador, the same El Salvador that is like imprisoning all of MS-13, that has like the lowest crime rate this year out of all developed countries, or
have to do with like literally anything you just said.
No, stop. He's in jail. He's in jail with all of the people that they were trying to protect him from.
But how did he get in jail? Like when he got,
we deported him, and the president of El Salvador agreed to hold all of our deportees. He has never been convicted of a crime in El Salvador. He has never been convicted of a crime in the United States.
Well, what's the problem if he's just like
he's in jail? He's being held with the people that we agreed not to deport him to because he had significant threat of retaliation from them.
But he is a citizen of El Salvador, correct?
Is this going in one ear and out the other? A judge literally said that they granted him withholding of removal under significant threat that he would be beaten or killed by the gang members that he was seeking asylum from. And then we deported them and gave him to the people that he was seeking asylum from. Illegally.
So what about like if a U.S. citizen, like the U.S. government wanted us back? Right, if they wanted us deported back to the U.S., right?
They didn't want him back. We just deported him.
Or if we were
the Venezuelan government or the El Salvadorian government, whatever, did not petition for him back. We just deported him illegally.
Well, how is it illegally if that is his country of residence?
I already cited you the code. He was given a withholding of removal because he had significant fear that he would be retaliated against if he was deported. The judge said that we cannot deport him because he has significant fear of retribution pursuant to U.S. law, and then they did it anyway. Now, how have you lost your empathy so far that when a judge determines that this person's going to be beaten or killed if we deport him, and then the Trump administration arrests him and then deports him within 3 days and doesn't give him the chance to appeal it, how is that not evil?
How is it evil to hate that our aid is going to people who are not U.S. citizens?
Okay, yeah, pivot off of that. I need you to answer this particular thing. I'm not asking about a broad economic thing. I'm asking about this person.
He is a citizen of El Salvador. He is not a U.S. citizen. The federal government has the right to deport them. Like, whether you like it or not, they do. They
legally do not, and I keep reciting to you the exact law by which they are breaking, and you just keep ignoring it.
But laws can be overturned. They can be changed.
I'm sorry. I need to give you a civics lesson. The president can't break laws because he doesn't like them. If he could, there would be no laws barring the power of the president, period, and you would have a dictatorship. Laws are there to bind people. That's the only point. So if a law says that the president can't do this, if this thing happens, and then this thing happens, and the president does it anyway, that's a violation of the law.
Which has been done multiple times, where like laws have been changed throughout U.S. history.
No, not changed, broken. If I go out and kill somebody, I'm not changing the law to allow it. I am breaking that law.
But why do we care so much about other countries and other citizens from other countries when we are
This is disgusting. Like, MAGA has completely lost their empathy. It's vile. It's gross. It's gross. I don't know why. Like, this is a human being that we stole away from his autistic son, and you're like, well, why do we care? He's not even a white American. It's like, it's disgusting.
It's like they think that immigrants shouldn't have any kind of protections. It's like they think if you're an immigrant, you don't deserve any kind of legal protections in the United States.
Fucking fight with the 14th. I don't know what to tell you. It's.
Oh, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
Oh, but like he can like change the law, right? Like what?
Stand over Ron. How's it going?
What's going on, bro?
I'm reeling at the lack of empathy in the Republican Party right now. I think the fact that this clearly evil thing happening and nobody can even say, hey, that was really bad. Like, this is a stain on America. The fact that we just deported somebody who had legal right to be here, or at least legal right to not be deported to El Salvador, we just sent him to El Salvador anyway. If they really wanted to get rid of this person, they could have just sent him to literally any other country where he didn't fear retribution. But they sent him to El Salvador specifically, even though El Salvador is the place that he specifically got a grant of withholding of removal from.
Cool. So you're mad because the Republican Party doesn't have empathy, but don't we have discretion on when we can have empathy and when we decide not to?
As a person, yes, but I think it's disgusting that Republicans are willing to completely sidestep any accountability for basically stealing this person from his autistic son, deporting him illegally, and then saying, well, he's already gone, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, cool. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. We don't have to have empathy for that.
Maybe what we should do is fucking freak out at the fact that this person was arrested and then deported within 3 days. That's not due process. People are afforded due process.
Who's gonna check Trump, bro?
Wait.
He's got an army.
Sorry. Did you say, oh, well?
Yeah, oh, well. Get over it. Vacation's over.
Yeah, see, this is proving the goddamn point.
Yeah, that guy wants a dictator. He wants, like, Trump to rule over him with his tiny orange stick.
I don't know if every single person's just going to come up here and prove the exact point that I'm trying to make.
Hey, Reynold, you just don't understand, bro. He has jets. That makes human right violence. It's okay.
Yeah, bro. He is